Okay, so something happened here. I don't know what happened. All I know is that the stream went out. And so for those of you that's find us, we're gonna pick right up where we left off at. And so you can kind of backtrack the video. Let me see if I'm live here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it sounds like pick right up where we left off at. So let everybody know that that for some reason or other we got kicked offline and we're back. I don't think it was Restream. I don't think it was Restream. We're showing that we have um, good speed. Showing that we have good speed. So I don't know what's going on there, but we're showing we have good speed. Let everybody know where we are. Lion Pride, Baruch Shabbat, my brother, Shabbat Shalom. Let everybody know that we're back on. And so let me go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about this particular subject. And the video clip I began to play was my brother Ron. So let's see if we can do this again without getting cut out. Okay. Let's get past that.
How can you dispel that notion, that narrative?
Easy. The Bible mentions the lions and leopards
It mentions the
in the Bible.
Yeah, it mentions.
Like Samson, he fought a lion
Oh, a lion.
and he killed the lion.
Awesome, awesome.
King David killed a lion. Daniel in the lion's den. Lions are apex predators. So these apex predators, they have prey. In Africa, we should know what the lions like to eat. They like to eat the wildebeest, the African buffalo, giraffes, zebra, and big things like hippo.
So now I'm gonna pause here for a second. This is Ron Dalton, and so he's a primary teacher of Jerusalem being in Africa. And the thing with him is that he's using his own logic to explain why that Jerusalem could not possibly be in modern day Israel. And so listen to what he's saying as his thesis, and he's going to also use um, the Septuagint as a reference point. Okay, so let's get back in here, and then we're gonna offer some commentary on that.
Hippopotamus, and even small elephants.
Hold on, brother Ron. Let me challenge you on that one. Because it also speaks of a bear, right? There are no bears in Africa, not that I know of. I know there are some bears in the Middle East.
Yep.
So let's clarify that one.
Guess what? and who wrote that Bible?
I don't know.
The Europeans translated and authorized it. So
Okay.
when you look in our Bible today, we see the
Let me stop there. So see, that's where you mess up at. Who wrote the Bible? So basically, when you start manipulating the biblical text to support your doctrine or your theory, then people that are not fully convinced that the scripture is authentic are going now and they're going to challenge the Bible, because that actually a lot of so-called Negroes take that approach. The white man wrote the Bible. So he kind of did a cheap shot at the biblical text, but he kind of tried to clear it up a little bit and say the white man translated it. Okay. So let's let him talk.
Word unicorn.
Is it?
But yes, but in the Greek Septuagint, it's rhinoceros. Right.
Okay, so he said unicorn. Let me back this up. I don't mean to laugh, but I just think that some people need to stick to what they're gifted at, because that's where we go wrong. When we step into an arena and try to teach where we're not anointed or called to teach, we misguide people, we mislead people, right? And you got to be careful, because a lot of Hebrews come into this walk out of a Pentecostal experience. So most of the Pentecostal experience is not based off of sound doctrine. It's based off of an experience. So if a person comes at you on the basis of experience and you come from a Pentecostal background, it's easy for you to be misled by somebody who's telling you, teaching you something based on their logic of what the Spirit, what the Ruach or the Holy Ghost told them, right? It's very dangerous, right? So let me back up for a second, 'cause he said something about unicorn. Let's back this up real quick right here.
The Europeans translated and authorized it. So
Okay.
when you look in our Bible today, we see the word unicorn.
He says unicorn, right? Let's see something here. Let me see if I can. I don't know why this mess keeps popping up here. Hold on a second. Why am I seeing this ad? I want to see, singles, mates. How do I go? Okay, I won't worry about that. See how the enemy try to distract things. Let's go. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let's go over here and let's do this real quick. Okay. Let's close this down. Let's close this down.
Is it?
But yes, but in the Greek,
Let's just for the sake of it, let's go unicorn. Okay, just so I make sure I'm spelling it right. Okay, unicorn. Okay, unique unicorn. Okay, so he said unicorn was in the Bible. So let's see unicorn. Okay. Okay, there. Okay, so he's right on. Okay, so unicorn. We do see unicorn here. Let's take a reference here real quick. Numbers 23 and 22, and let's do the Strong's numbers. So unicorn is a wild bull from its conspicuousness. Okay, so what's his point he's trying to make? What's his point he's trying to make? So let's back up. Okay. Let's put this side by side so we can kind of try to see what he's saying here. Now let's go back in here and let's back this up to what he was saying about the unicorn.
There are no bears in Africa, not that I know of. I know there are some bears in the Middle East.
yep.
So let's clarify that
Guess,
one.
guess what? and who wrote that Bible?
I don't know.
The Europeans translated and authorized it. So
Okay.
when you look in our Bible today, we see the word unicorn.
Is it?
But yes, but in the Greek Septuagint, it's rhinoceros.
So he said in the Greek Septuagint, unicorn. So let's do this here. Unicorn. Let's take this reference and let's see. That's Numbers 23 and 22. All right. And a wild bull. Let's see. Unicorn. Okay, let's go to Septuagint. This is Septuagint. Just in case you're trying to see what I'm doing here, I have, this is the E sword. And we're going to go to the Brenton's version. That's the Septuagint. Okay, it was Yah who brought him out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the glory of a unicorn. Okay, now I'm kind of confused because he said rhinoceros. So let's do this here. Okay. Let's see if I can figure out rhinoceros. Okay. Okay. And let's go here and let's see if we can find in the Brenton's version rhinoceros, spelled Rhinoceros. So that's not coming up. So where's he getting this information from? Because rhinoceros, we just read. Let's just kind of confirm a couple times in the East Sword. Okay, so we did find unicorn in Brenton's. Let's see how many times. Okay, let's do unicorn. Unicorn. Okay. So that's Brenton. So Brenton's translates the same as the King James, right? Because King James in these verses here, right? If you look at the screen, you'll see this is Brenton's version. That's the Septuagint, right? So you see unicorn. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verses, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verses. Now we go to the regular King James KJV and we put unicorn in. Let's see. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 verses. So what he just said was, he just threw something out there without providing support or proof of that. He just said that the Septuagint has rhinoceros, and we just showed you where it doesn't say rhinoceros. Okay. So when you teaching, this is how you decipher truth from error, right? When you teach, if a person says something, ask them to show me the receipts, because that's how we get twisted in our belief, because people just talk and we just take them at face value that they know what they're talking about. We just showed right there that he just made a statement that he didn't support, that rhinoceros was in the Septuagint. Now, unless somebody can show me what he said as a reference, then he's just talking, right? So I don't have any respect for his biblical knowledge. Okay. Let's continue.
Rhinoceros are not in Israel; they're in Africa.
Yeah.
When you look at the word in our English Bible, we see the word owl. In the Greek Septuagint, it's ibis, the African ibis. When you look at
So he said ibis is not owl. So let's just put OWL on this. Oh, owl does come up. That's the Brentons. So owl comes up. Right? So Andre says he must be assuming that because a rhino has a single horn on its nose. Yeah, you're right. So assumptions are very dangerous because we can't teach by assumption. Too many people teaching by assumptions, and people following Jim Jones led a whole multitude of people in Jonestown. because they was following him and not following. See, you could check any teacher. You could check me or any other teacher on the internet that's teaching things if they don't follow through with proof, right? So now if I do go back and put in here the KJV and put Al, there we go. Okay. Now here this time, let's test this out to see if, okay, so Brenton's gave us how many references? Brenton's gave us 3. Okay, 3 references. Okay. So let's make a note of this, all right? Brenton's gave us, matter of fact, let me do it this way. That way I'll be fair. I'll be fair. I'm not going to let's see, where was I at here? Okay, so we're gonna copy these references here. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it this way. We know we got Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Psalms. Let's go back to KJV. Let's hit search. Okay. So we have Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Psalms, and we have a few others. So let's just do this here. Let's just copy search results. And what we're going to do is let's just copy just that as face value. Now I'm going to go back to my notes here, and we're going to put this right here, right? Okay. So now we know these are the places that King James has. Now, so on the right, we're going to go and we're going to pull up a Brenton's, and we're going to look at Leviticus. We're going to start with each one. Okay, let's close this down out the way so I can see them going. We're going to go to Leviticus 11 and 16. So let's go to Leviticus 11, 16. It says the owl and the nighthawk. Okay. The owl and the sea mew. Okay, so we don't see that one. Okay, so let's go 11 and 17 says, and the owl and the nighthawk. Okay, nighthawk and the owl and the nighthawk. So we see owl here. That's 15. Okay, raven. This time it says raven, and the birds like a hawk. Night raven and the conrad or the stork. Okay, Deuteronomy 14 and 15 says what? Deuteronomy 14, 15, and we're going to look at the strong numbers too. So Deuteronomy 14, 15 says the sparrow and the owl and the sea nymph. Okay. So that doesn't line up. This one here, the heron, the swan, and the stork, right? Okay, I don't know why King James listed twice. Okay, Psalms 102, we know we saw that in the King James, or in the Brenton's. So let's look at Psalm 102. Let's go to Psalms 102 and 6. So 102 and 6 says, I have become like a pelican of the wilderness. I have become like an owl in a ruined house. So that one lines up. So let's go to Isaiah or Yoshiyahu 34 and 11. Let's go down to 11. For a long time, birds and hedgehogs and ibises and ravens. Okay, so this is the word he's talking about. Ibises. Okay. So he's right in this verse, but let's see. Hold on a second. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet the wild beasts of, okay, let me go back again. Beast of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and shall find herself a place of rest. Okay, so here we got the screech owl. So maybe he might have a point here, but let's just see. Let's see what this is here. So screech owl. That's verse 11. A long time birds and hedgehogs and ibises and ravens shall dwell in it, and the measured line of desolation shall be cast over it, and satire shall dwell in it. The birds and the hedgehogs. Okay, let me see where we see birds here. Interesting how Septuagint is a little different because I don't see birds. Let's see if we can make sense out of this here. Her valley shall be turned into pitch. And for a long time, birds and hedge. Okay, you see birds here. Okay, for uh, uh, but like I said, in the KJV, we don't see birds. We see birds here. Let's see. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. So this word here, ibises, uh, is not in the King James version. That's not to say that there's no owl, because the owl is here, and we see owl all in the Septuagint. Okay, but to his point, we don't see this word, this one here, the ibises. We don't see that one in the KJV on the left here. Okay, now go to the next place, verse 14. So in verse 11, either King James uses the King James uses the Masoretic text. The Septuagint is older than the King James. So why did King James put owl there, and then the Septuagint doesn't have owl in there? That's food for thought. Okay. Okay, verse 14. Okay, maybe I'm looking at the wrong verse. Okay, 11. 11 has the owl. Okay, I was right. Okay, 11 has the screech owl. So maybe the screech owl is the ibises. Okay, ravens. We don't see ravens either. Okay. Okay. Let's look at verse 14 says, the wild beasts of the desert. So let's go here. The devil shall meet with the satyrs. So we do see satire. This is, Brenton has satire right here, right? And the KJV has satire, right? Right here. The satyrs shall cry. They shall cry one of another. There shall satyrs rest. Okay, here we go. So they are actually calling this owl the screech owl, because it says here, the devil shall meet with the satyrs, right? The wild beasts of the desert shall meet with the wild beasts, meet with the wild beasts. So the wild beasts, King James wild beasts, is the same as satyrs. Satire shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there. And it says here, they shall cry to one another, there shall satires rest. Okay, now we got to look at this differently now, because it seems like he's calling the satires the wild beasts. All right. Wild beasts of the desert shall meet with the wild beasts. Wild beasts of the desert shall meet with the wild beasts. The devil shall meet with the satires. So this wild beast is devils and the Britons. So the devils of the desert, the devils shall meet with the satires. All right. So this should be devils. The devils of the desert shall meet with the wild beasts, and the satires shall cry to his fellow. And the street owl also shall rest there. So you got the satires, there shall satires rest, having found of themselves a place of rest. So satires are going to rest in the Britons, but here in King James, who's going to rest? The screech owl. The screech owl shall rest. Okay, so now let's look at this verse 11. That's 34 and 11. And the KJ, let's do the KJV plus and let's see what this screech owl is. So 34 and 11. Okay. 34 and 11. Screech. Okay. Where's the screech owl at? 34 and 11. But no, that reads different here. I'm I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be looking at 14. The wild beasts of the desert shall meet with the wild beasts of the island. So each one of these have a different number. The wild beast of the desert, which is the word see, a desert dweller that is a nomad or wild beast. Okay, shall also meet with the wild beast. And this one here is doleful or howler, wild beast of the island. And the satire is a shaggy or a he goat, by analogy, a fawn. A sire, a he goat, shall cry. Okay. And the screech owl is a night specter. A night specter. Hmm. Okay, so that's like a night owl. Okay. So what is ibisis? Okay. Okay, so here is ibisis. I guess that's ibisis. This is what came up for ibisis. Although it's spelled different than the Brenton's version. Brenton's spells it. Okay, where was it? 11. I'm trying to help the brother out. Okay, so I don't want to just throw him under the bus. Let's see. Now, where did the ibises go at again? Let's try it. Let's try this again. I can't spell it. Wait a minute. Uh, let's go back to my notes here. Let's see. So maybe it's verse 11. Oh, here it's verse 11. IBISES. IBISES. So let's go back here. IBI. IBISES. Right? IBISES. So this bird comes up. Now let's go back. What did he say ibises was? Let's go back.
But in the Greek Septuagint, it's rhinoceros. Rhinoceros are not in Israel; they're in Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
When you look at the word in our English Bible, we see the word owl. In the Greek Septuagint, it's ibis, the African ibis. When you look at
Sorry about that. I was talking. Didn't have my mic unmuted. Um, he said that ibises. I'm gonna stop unmuting my mic that way. I won't have to keep worried about it going out. So I just kind of have to adjust the sound so it's not dubbing back around. Okay. So basically, he said that Ron Dalton said that the owl is an ibises. Okay. So here's the ibises here, right? So ibises versus the owl. Let's see. Here we go. Similarities and differences. Okay. Ibises and owl are two classes of birds that belong to the Threskiornithidae and Titonidae families, respectively. Ibis is a whiting bird that has been in existence since ages. Its fossils date back over 60 million years. The bird is considered sacred in Egypt and Egyptian culture. It is a quiet bird with spherical shaped white body, long red legs, and a red long curved bill. Ibises consist of around 26 species of wildling birds such as spoonbills. Owl is a large nocturnal bird. Pardon me. It has a round and flat face with hooked beaks, static eyes, large ears. Its neck is flexible and can turn over 180 degrees on both sides. This allows the bird to look around and backwards even with its eyes fixed. Okay, all right. Where are the ibises and owls found? Ibises are inhabited in all warm locations of the world. They do not exist in the South Pacific Islands or Antarctica alone. They are generally found near wetlands, near marshes, lagoons, ponds, and lakes at sea level. However, some of them also live in grasslands and forests of mountain regions. Owls live in diverse habitations such as forests, mountains, plains, deserts. Snowy owls live in frigid regions of North Pole. Species like great horned owl, the bear owl, can be found in cities. Owls can be found in all countries of the world except and how you said Antarctica. Sorry about it. I just drew a blank on that word there. Antarctica. What do ibis and owls eat? Okay. I think we kind of pretty much see that they are in the same family. Okay. So what Ron's point is that this bird right here is not in Israel, right? No, because when he goes and he talks about where this bird inhabits all of the places that he says this bird fossils go back to 60 million years ago and is considered sacred in Egyptian culture, right? So Egypt is right across from Israel. So that's a stretch to say that this bird can't be in Israel, and Israel's across the way from Egypt, but it's a sacred bird in Egyptian culture, right? That's like saying palm trees in Savannah don't exist in Florida. Okay. Cote Visa said ibis is also called uh, a thieving owl. Right. Hey, Eliot Stone, Toda Rabat, Baruch Shabbat to you, Cote um, Visa for that. And let me see. So let's see. Hold on a second here. A Cote Visa said ibis is also called thriving owls. Eliot Stone said every country includes Israel, though useless. Israel is in unless Israel is in Antarctica, right? So no, Ron's point is not valid. Right, right. Toda, I'm glad we got some people here to know a little something because uh now why is this video doing that? Okay. I don't know what's going on here with this YouTube today. I'm seeing stuff. Okay. So Ron is he's misleading his audience by spitting stuff out that's not true. All right, let's continue.
Get the word owl. They can replace the word crane and heron with the word owl. Cranes and herons are birds you see along the banks of the Nile River.
Yeah.
The African ibis, like what's that Egyptian god that has the ibis head? All these things are animals in animals in Africa.
Mm.
When you look at the wild bull, we know what a bull is, but then in the Hebrew is a word for wild bull and bull. Mm. A wild bull is an African buffalo. When we look at the word ass or donkey.
So he says a wild bull is an African buffalo. But where is he getting this information from? That's my question, because he's just saying stuff unquestioned. And the thing is that, like I said, people keep listening to teachings like this. And because he's a researcher, every researcher has to provide. When you're a book writer, when we talk and we say things, we can't just spit stuff out the air and write it as facts, right? we basically, as a book writer or as an author, when you say something, you're not just saying something that you never heard nobody else say before, or somewhere along the line, somebody who's experienced that from eyewitness account. It's kind of like these Europeans that want to make Egyptians white. None of the scholars before the 19th century identified Egypt as white, Egyptians as white people. Not one. Now all of a sudden, a new scholar will come and say Egyptians was white. So that's what Ron is doing in this particular uh, dissertation. He's coming up with some new information to support his thesis that Israel is in Africa, which is dangerous. Okay, let's continue.
We know what that is. It's a domesticated animal. But what is a wild ass? A wild ass in the English Bible was what we today will call a zebra.
Okay.
When you look at in the scripture, you have the word ostrich.
See, he's using the modern terminology. He's saying a wild ass is a zebra. Where's he getting that from? If we go, let's go to the scriptures and let's see. I don't think we see wild ass. Let's put it in there as a phrase. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, here we go. Job. Okay, so we do see it. Okay, all right. We do see a wild ass. Let's see. That's Brenton's. Now let's go to Job. Let's switch this back to KJV plus. Let's go to Job 6 and 5. Job 6 and 5. Okay, 6 and 5. Okay, wild ass, the word is, it says a parade from 6,500, a bare fruit, in the sense of running wild, an onager. Okay, so we have word onager, right? Okay. So this word, so in this verse, it's parade. Let's go to Job 35 or 39 and 5. And we see the same word, parade. Right? Let's go to 31 and 6. We see okay, that one's not there. 31 and 6. Okay, so that one's not there. Okay. Sometimes Septuagint verses are different from the KJV verses in different places. So we have to look for that one. Okay. Syria is the other place. Sirach 13:19, right? So in this case, I would have to go to KJV with the Amplified, and we go Sirach. So we see wild ass again. So it's para. So now we see this word, it's an onager, right? So let's see what we can glean from looking up this word onager. Okay. Images of an onager. So here's an onager, right? Okay, here's an onager. Okay, that's like a horse, a slash, looks like a horse slash donkey. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So he just told us that this was a zebra, but an ass is a donkey, right? So wild ass. So this would be this. This is a donkey. Um, this would fit. This would fit the bill of what the passage is saying, right? So Ron told us that this wild ass was a zebra. Let's do this here. Let's see if we got zebra. Okay, so we don't have zebra in Brenton's. Let's see if King KJV has zebra. Okay, there's no zebra. Okay. Let's try something else here. Let's go down here and let's put zebra in the dictionary. Okay, so it's not there. So let's go onager versus zebra. Okay, here's a zebra right here. Okay. Okay, so a zebra does kind of resemble the onager. That's interesting, right? Let me see something real quick. The onager equus heminis, also known as, okay, get out of here. Get out of here, get out of here. Also known as a species of a family of Equidae native to Asia, a member of subgenus Asinus. The onager was described and given a binomial name by German zoologist Peter Simon Pallas, 1775. 6 species have been recognized, 2 of which are extinct. Okay, let's go down here. The Asiatic wild ass weighs about 200 to 260 kilos, or 470 to 570 pounds, and reaches about 2.1, 6.9 feet head body length. They are reddish brown or yellowish brown in color and have broad dorsal type stripe on the middle of the back. Unlike most horses and donkeys, okay, so they fit in the class of horses / donkeys. Like I said, onagers have never been domesticated. They are among the fastest mammals, as they can run as fast as 64 kilometers or 40 to 70 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour to 70 or 43 miles per hour. The onager is closely related to the African wild ass, as they both share the same ancestor. The kiang, formerly considered a subspecies of Equus herminus, is generally considered a distinct species. However, this has been questioned with some genomic studies finding the kiang to be nested within the diversity of, Equus herminus. Okay. The onager formerly had a wider range from southwest and central to northern Asia countries such as Palestine, which is Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Afghanistan, Russia, Siberia. The prehistoric European wild ass subspecies ranged from Europe until the Bronze Age, right? Okay. During the 20th century, the species lost most of its ranges in the Middle East and Eastern Asia. Today, onagers live in deserts and other arid regions in Iran, India, Mongolia, including Central Asia, hot and cold deserts in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and China. Other than deserts, it lives in grasslands, plains, steppes, and savannas. Like many other large grazing animals, the onager's range has contracted greatly under the pressures of poaching and habitat loss. So basically, brothers and sisters, I don't know what Ron's point is in making statements like that without backing it up. But he's playing a dangerous game. Let's see. Let's see. We got a question here. Let me see. I like questions. Let me pull up on the screen here. Let's see where we at here. Nakfa says, let me just go back up a little bit and see if anybody else had anything to say here. Okay, let's see. Amos Ornish. Bless Shabbat to you. I don't know where you're tuning in from, but preferably you're having a blessed day. Shabbat, I don't know what part of the country, what part of the world you're in, but it's Shabbat here in the United States of America. Nakfa says, I have to ask, when did you start learning that the book always was an African story? Because all Americans was not saying that the whole time, while we in East Africa have been saying that. A lot of Hebrews like Caping Tazark says Africans are anti the book. Well, I can only answer personally. When did you start learning the book always was an African story? For me, about 30 years ago. Okay. So many of the Hebrew Israelites, when we begin to read, because most of us, Nakfa, preferably I said the name right. Hopefully I didn't muff it up. But most of us that have come to the knowledge that we are Israelites, we basically, when we started reading the first half of the Bible called the Old Testament, we identified that we are those people, right? Now, while we were in Christianity, of course, we didn't have that knowledge, so we was taught that we was Christians. But as we began to read the biblical texts and identify with the people, the land, right, and the culture, you know, as far as like the prophets wearing locks in their hair and things of that nature, Samson or Shimshon having locks, and Eliyahu, Elijah having locks in his hair, all of them being mistaken as Egyptians. So when we began to study the scriptures, we began to realize that it is our history, right? Bruce Shabbat to you, Coach Deanna. Good to see my sister. Pray all is well with you. Bless Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Indeed. Okay. Let's see. Where we at? Okay. So Ron is saying things that he's not backing up. He's just saying things. And people that are not researchers or that are not fact checking, that's the new thing now, fact checking, right? When you fact check, um, you can prove a lot of stuff that's false. Even people send advertisements say the government's giving away this money. You fact check it and find out that people are lying, or people are misinforming you based on their particular agenda, right? So let's go back to Ron, okay? And I'm gonna mute my mic again.
Jackal and hyena, all in the same verse. Where can we find a hyena?
What scripture is this?
It's in the book of Isaiah.
Okay.
Anybody can Google it. So why would the Israelites mention an ostrich, a jackal, and a hyena in the same scripture, in the same verse, if it wasn't present in the land of Israel?
Where did we get lost? Where did we get lost in translation, and how come we got this book that confuses us and make us think that Israel or the land of the people of God is not here and it's over there in the Middle East somewhere?
Well, we have to understand that the oral history of the Bantu people was what they had, and they passed down the oral traditions to their children and children's children, so that although the Bantu people, when the Europeans came into Africa, they didn't walk into sub-Saharan Africa and see all these people in the village with Bibles, but yet these people were circumcising on the 8th day. They were naming their children on the 8th day. They had cleanliness ceremonies when somebody died. They had to go to the mountain, they had to shave their hair off, all these things. If they had to dip in the river 7 times, there's certain foods they couldn't eat. Back in the ancient times, they couldn't eat the pig, they couldn't eat the horse, they couldn't eat the donkey. If they would do sacrifices, for the atonement of their sins, they would get a chicken or a goat or a ram, and they would bring it to the priest or the diviner or the Sangoma and offer this animal for your sins. Even in regards to having a baby girl versus a baby boy, how long is a woman considered unclean?
Over 7,000 people have used the
Okay, so we took the culture with us, and so I don't know how that is relevant to proving that Israel is in Africa, because we are the same people. We can migrate different places. Whatever culture we have. For example, right? I use something simple like double Dutch and hopscotch. Was it hopscotch? Right? That's all over the States. You might be in Maryland where we are and go to Illinois in the hood, and the people play hopscotch, jump rope, double Dutch. Because we take our culture with us where we go. So that's not a valid point to say that Africa is Jerusalem, because we circumcised, we kept the cleanly laws and the dietary laws, because we have a lifestyle that we live. We took it with us wherever we went. So that's definitely not a valid argument with regards to the point that he's trying to make. So we have to be very careful, brothers. This is, any teacher that don't want to be challenged, and you ask them questions and they say something and you ask them to prove it, right? Ask me to prove it. If you ask me something to prove something and I can't prove it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop teaching it. I could be wrong. I could be them passed down something that I learned from somebody else that I never really studied out. I had a brother check me this week. Hebrew Israelites believe in Trinity. He said you said all Hebrew Israelites don't believe in Trinity. He said, I'm a Hebrew Israelite and I believe in Trinity. Why do you believe in Trinity? Because it was taught to you, right? Do you know what Trinity means? That's the question I had for him. You said you believe in Trinity, right? So do you know what Trinity means? right? Okay, let's go back in here.
Unclean twice as long as the number of days as if she had a male child.
Okay.
That's in scripture. I ask people all the time, like, what's
Coach Visa, you said a mouthful. Wait, yeah, I want y'all to see what she said. She says, this information distracts us from the weightier matters that are edifying. Right? I gotta give you the line on that one. Right? So she's right. Because it's important for us to know, because Warrior Josiah is doing a teaching on the wilderness, right? So if the wilderness is the place of safety, right? And we think the wilderness is in Africa and not where it is, because they teach the wilderness is in the Sudan, right? The Mount Sinai is somewhere in the Sudan, right? If that's the case, the people fleeing to the wilderness, they go into the wrong wilderness, right? Okay. Just a food for thought there. Shabbat Shalom, Kima. Good to see my brother. Okay, let's see. Prayerfully you made out all right with your situation. Let's get back in here, okay?
what's going on with this? And they said this is an ancient tradition that they do. You know, so we see a lot of the biblical traditions going to the high places, meaning the mountains and the hills. They see that as a place where God dwells. So you go there to pray, you go there to fast, you go there to circumcise. You know, take the men up there to circumcise, and they stay and they come down when they're ready. You know, all these things that we see in the Old Testament.
Your Mount Sinai, and these guys going up the mountain.
Yeah,
Jacob.
All the laws in the Torah.
Moses, all those guys.
They are seen in Bantu traditions and customs. Yet the Bantu people, when the white man came to Africa, they didn't have Bibles in churches where they were reading the book of Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and so forth.
And you still have that here with so-called African traditional religions, like your...
Okay, so his point is still not proof that Africa is Jerusalem or Israel, because we keep the traditions, the oral traditions. That's not enough proof to say this is, we could say that about America. You have in South Carolina and different islands an isolated group of people, right, that don't make the news. But I remember years ago, this one sister told us that Jamaica is Jerusalem. She called it Jamaica. So we got to be careful when we teach stuff as being factual truth, because people are listening. Babies are listening, and when they hear us say things like that, they take that at face value. Oh, Jamaica is Jerusalem. It's called Jamaica. She said Jamaica, right? All right, let's get back in here. All right.
Shembe. They still observe the Sabbath. They go up the mountain when they pray.
I want to go forward.
Is
I want
this
to go.
proof that these are people of God that came with this tradition and have kept it over centuries without the adulteration of the Bible as it is presented to us today?
Yes. Well, if you ask them, where'd you get this from? Did you get it from the white man? They're going to say no. They say no. If they say, well, we tilled the land, and then at
Okay, so these points are all weak, because even Leo Africanus talked about circumcision being practiced. So the Gentile, that wasn't a practice of the Europeans. Circumcision wasn't practiced theirs. Okay, so whether you believe in the Bible or not, whether they learn it from reading the Bible or not is not relevant, because what you got to take in consideration is that every household wouldn't have had a Bible anyway. You know, you had the scribes, you know, that had the scrolls. Everybody didn't have the luxury of going on the internet, right? And downloading eSword or going to www.biblehub.com and pulling up different reference books. So quite naturally, every Israelite household, wherever we went, we carried the traditions that was taught to us, right? That's the reason why in Joshua, I think it's 1:8, where he says, this book of the law shall not depart from thy lips, but thou shalt meditate upon it. What are we meditating? We came to a solemn assembly. The scribes would read from the scrolls and we would rehearse what the scribes say. That's where the Christian church get that responsive reading. That's the Israelite practice. Everybody couldn't go home with a Bible. So you came to the solemn assembly, they blew the shofar, right? Everybody came up to the mountain, right? And the word went forth from the mountain as the Most High spoke through the mouth of the prophets, right? Seers, etc., right? They spoke the words of Yah. The people repeated it, just like we go to Exodus 19, we read earlier in this session. The people said all that he said we will do. So the Most High had them to repeat what was said. And as we continue to repeat what was said to us, it becomes now law. The written law was just something that was written down as a record. That's why he said, we go to Deuteronomy 30, he said, I record this day. In other words, written down as a record against you. So, because people could say, oh, I didn't say that. That's where the legal system gets that from. They go in the legal system and stuff is written down. You sign, like we saw in our house. That's why we have a signing. Because we can easily say, I didn't sell this property to him or to them. They say, oh, well, here's a written record. You saying you didn't sell it, but we have a record with your signature here showing that you sold it for X amount of dollars. Now you're saying you didn't sell it. So that's the record, right? So everybody didn't have the privilege to have a 66 books plus on their bookshelf. So the point of Israel orally doing this is not a validation that Africa is Jerusalem. Okay, let's try to go forward because I want to get into some biblical references here. Okay. Where are we at?
After a certain period of time, we let the land rest. That's called the land Sabbath. It's in the Bible. Taking the first fruits of your harvest like a diviner. And so all these things we see in the Bible, yet many of these people will say we've had these traditions and customs before the white man came with the Bible. And these are all Hebrew traditions and customs. The key is when you start to uncover the Hebrew and the Egyptian in their actual language, words and what the words mean and how the words tell the stories of biblical things that happen. Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the Congo or whether they're traveling by the edge of the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
One of those crowns I have here.
Okay, so we got a commercial here. Let's go back in.
down Africa? Are they crossing the Nile River? Are they crossing the Limpopo? Are they crossing the Congo?
Easy. In the English Bible, we see the word
Okay,
Red Sea.
this the part I want to. We're gonna play this part and we're gonna stop with the video. Okay, let me see this. All right, listen to what he says about the Red Sea. Okay.
Desert, right? The big desert they had to cross, and down the valleys, whether it's the Congo or whether they're traveling by the edge of the East Coast. Where is this parting of the waters if they are going down Africa? Are they crossing the Nile River? Are they crossing the Limpopo? Are they crossing the Congo?
Easy. In the English Bible, we see the word Red Sea. When you go into the Hebrew, you're going to see the word Yam Suf.
Okay.
Yam Suf means, or Yam can mean a large river, a lake, or an ocean, and Suf means reeds or papyrus.
Okay, so, whew. So that's supposed to be the Nile, according to the teaching, right? So, is there a distinction between the Nile and the Red Sea? Okay, let's just kind of visit what he just said, right? All right, so we're gonna put in here the Red Sea, right? Red Sea, right? And let's just see. Let's pick one here. Okay. I like this one better. Let's go with this one here. I like this one better. Oh my goodness. All right, this is Exodus 23. Let's go up to, let's see what I want to start at. Okay, let's see. Let's start right here, verse 27, right? I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people of whom thou shalt come. And I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. Okay? And I will set thy bounds, right, from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river, for I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before thee. Now, here's the problem I have with this here. Okay. Ron is, as the African, I got to give it a name. Jerusalem is in Africa doctrine. The Jerusalem is in Africa doctrine is making the Red Sea to be the Nile River. Okay? So I don't know how they see that. They don't see a problem with that, because in this verse here, it says, I will set bounds from the Red Sea unto the sea of the Philistines. So my question is, what is the sea of the Philistines? Because we got two seas now he's mentioning, right? their teaching is that the Philistines dwelt along the coast of the Nile River, right? So, how could the Nile River be the Red Sea? Because there's two seas mentioned. From the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines. So that's something to think about. We're gonna have to do a part 3 because I have some stuff that I need to present, and it's almost 11 o'clock already. Okay. So I don't know if you all can see this discrepancy there. Now let's look at this Red Sea because he made a statement that the Red Sea was, what did he say, Yam Suf? Okay. So let's go to KJV Plus and let's look at Red Sea, right? So this word Red Sea, we see it says Yam, the roar, the meaning to roar at sea as breaking in noisy surf or a large body of water. Specifically with the article the Mediterranean, sometimes a large river or an artificial basin, locally the west or rare the south. Sea faring, okay, seafaring man. Okay, so this is talking about west. So when you look geographically at west, because see, the teaching is that west of the Red Sea is Jerusalem. So we need to pull up a map real quick. And let's do this here. Okay. Now let's look at this map here, see if I can bring it down some. Okay. So you can see here on this map, this is the Red Sea, right? Okay. The Nile River, as you can see, is right here. Right? This Nile River goes all the way up to Palestine because it spills right into the Mediterranean. Right? See that? So this is the Mediterranean Sea right here, right here. So when you talk about the river Nile, the river of Egypt, right? That's what the promised land was, from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. That's a whole nother subject in itself, right? The river Euphrates, because they will make the river Euphrates over here somewhere. Okay, so here's the Nile River here, right? So this river here, which spills over into, cause I'm going to do a lesson, and this is also going to be in the book that we're in the process of completing. All of this territory, truth of the matter is that the Philistines dominated all of this area, including, not limited to, but including all the coastal lands around the water, even the islands, right? Right? This is Tyre right here. They call it Cyprus now, right? But this was the biblical Tyre right here. So I'm trying to zoom in and see if they even have a glimpse of the name. Okay. So from here to the coast of Lebanon, this was all of this was, we're going to show you something in a second. We're going to show you something in a second as we close. Okay. All of this was Philistine territory. So when he's talking about between the sea of the Philistines, this is the sea, brothers and sisters, right here, the Mediterranean Sea. He calls this the Sea of the Philistines, the Mediterranean Sea, all of that, which goes down through Egypt, goes down to the bottom, goes all the way down here. Look at that. If you zoom in, you see it breaks up, but it goes down, right? It goes around in a curve, right? So, question you got to ask yourself is, if Israel was up here, somewhere along here, I have to show you the biblical map. This is the current map. Somewhere along here was where Israel departed from as we read in Exodus 19, Rephidim. To cross the Nile, where's the Nile? Over here, right? Makes no sense. Because they would be going further into Egyptian territory and not away from the territory. Israel was going away from the Egyptians to get away. So they crossed the Red Sea, right? All right. Here's your Red Sea right here. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's look at this. The Red Sea, we had the word Yam, right? Now, I don't know where you got the Suf from. Let me see. Is this word here? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay. So let's just blow this up real quick, so we can see what's going on here. Okay. So the sea. Okay, so we got sea. I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea. So you have the word Yam Suf, which he's correct. He's correct. Yam Suf, right? Suf means is the word reed or papyrus. Okay? So the teaching is that the Red Sea is the Nile, which geographically is incorrect. And it's not even that deep to where it could drown. And then two, last week, if you go back and look at the video we showed you the clips of where they actually did an excavation where they actually went into the Red Sea and actually saw chariots and pieces of ships at the bottom of the sea, which coincides with what the biblical narrative is, that Pharaoh's army drowned in the sea, in the Red Sea, right? Now, here we see in the same verse, I will set bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea. Same word used for Philistine sea. Sea of Philistines. So we got the word Yam, right? Both of these use the same word Yam. So for him to, from an exegetical perspective, to use Yam to reference the Nile, because it says it could be a small body or a big body, everywhere you see the word Yam, you have to be able to connect that to the Nile River. And you can't do that because you're eisegeting the text because you're adding your own meaning into it to support your thesis. And you can't do that because you can't make Yam be the Nile River when the same word is used in reference to the Sea of the Philistines. So here specifically, they're specifying the difference between the Red Sea and the Sea of Philistines by using this word what? Suph. Right? So you have the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Philistines. So my question to my Africa is the New Jerusalem, or Jerusalem is in Africa. My question is, where in your estimation is the Philistine Sea? The Sea of the Philistines. These are questions we have to ask if we want to make Jerusalem be Africa, right? We have to, because most of these teachers that teach that, you ask them, give me the places where this particular is, and they'll go on Google Maps, right? And they'll type in a name, a biblical name. Oh, there it is right there. See? That's called pseudo scholarship, brothers and sisters. Okay, now let's look back at this map again. And you can see right here, right? It makes sense. So this sea, it said west, right? We read somewhere where it said something about west, right? West of the land would be the Red Sea, because this is west, right? All right. So where's the coast of the Palestine? Where's Tyre, right? Because Tyre, we're going to show you something in a minute, right? All right. No, the code visa. That's right. Let me go back and look at some of these comments here and see where we at here. Where's she at? Cool. Let's go back up here a little bit. Did my sister get her question answered? No, I can't see. I guess it was a sister, Nakia. Okay, here she goes. Let's see. A lot of years. She said, really, 30 years ago, wow, because I never met an American in the conscious community ever putting that information out. Not Nakfa, I don't know if you're male or female. I don't want to assume, but there's a lot of things that a lot of people never heard of. There are a lot of people here in the United States that was teaching that we were Israelites for years. I didn't find out until the 90s that to the 2000 that there was a overwhelming population of Hebrew Israelites that taught that. Mine was a revelation. So don't be surprised, because you'll find out that there are a lot of people, right? I could say the same thing for Africa. I never heard any African teaching they were Israelites, but that don't mean that they weren't teaching it, because I didn't hear about them. This is a big world out here, right? lot that I've never heard or seen. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of Israelites. You can Google how many African American Negroes is across the globe. How many Negroes are there across the globe? And so you had to have met millions of us to say nobody knows this or you've never heard it before. Okay, so nah, no, it's possible that just there's a lot. It's possible that a lot of things that you've never heard before that was being shared or taught. Okay, let's see. Let me go up here. Let's see where is that. Okay, let's see. Let's go back. Good deeds are always lawful on the Shabbat. Make Yah known like Yahshua going into the synagogue. Um, Elias says, not sure how often you guys have reunions, but I assume some people you may never get to tell Yah about to their face again. That's true. Let's see. Okay, that's the key. I'm not gonna read that one. It is okay. Okay, I read that. Let me see where we at here. Okay, Visa says Sea of Reeds. I thought was the proper name of the Red Sea. That's correct. Yes. I looked at the Red Sea and Pharaoh's chariots. They discovered the actual chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea. There you go. Right. Don't take my word for it. Okay. That's it. Okay. All right. So that's it. All right. Now, so let's finish Ron out, and then I have probably 2 verses I'm gonna share, and then I'm gonna be done for the day. Okay. For this particular sharing. Okay. So let's go back to Ron here.
Together, it could be the large or great river of reeds, or the great lake of reeds, or the great sea of reeds. Now, where do reeds grow? Papyrus reeds grow along fresh water river banks.
Right.
Papyrus reeds do not grow in salt water.
Yeah, yeah. So the Red Sea would be salt
The
water,
Red Sea
right?
is extremely saline, extremely salty, and is very hot. So if you look at
Okay. So he said papyrus reeds don't grow by salt water. The Red Sea is salt water. Uh, I don't know. Let's see. Um, so I'm looking for something here. This is papyrus reeds. Let's see what papyrus reeds. Okay, let's read this right here. Cyperus papyrus, better known as common names papyrus. Papyrus, sedge, paper reed, Indian matting plant, or Nile grass is a species of aquatic flower plant belonging to the sedge family. Cyperaceae is a tender herbaceous perennial native to Africa and forms tall stands of reed-like swamp vegetation in shallow water. Okay. Papyrus sedge and its close relative have a long history of use by humans, notable by ancient Egyptians, as it is the source of papyrus paper, one of the first types of paper ever made. Parts of the plant can be eaten, and highly buoyant stems can be made into boats. It is now often cultivated as an ornamental plant. In nature, it grows in full sun in flooded swamps and on lake margins throughout Africa, Madagascar, and the Mediterranean countries. It has been introduced outside its range to tropical regions worldwide, such as Indian subcontinent, South America, and the Caribbean. Okay. Now, if you look at this map here without reading too much, so the green here is they're showing, it says the range map of Cyperus papyrus. So they're showing it way down here. And that's the sub-Saharan, so that's below Egypt, and they're showing at the Egyptian see if I can blow this in. So this is the Nile right here, right? And this is the Red Sea. Okay. That's interesting. Now, this map is current, so this doesn't go back in time. So we don't know the extent to these reads, but we do know that at current, this is the territories where you see papyrus growing. Okay. So let's just say that Ron is correct. Okay. That this is salt water, so this papyrus can't grow. Well, at current, we can't say that because we can see it's growing along the line of the Red Sea, which Israel's over here. So could it be, if it says sea, it could be talking about, and this Mediterranean is salt as well. So you have a coast here that would have papyrus. So that's not a good argument. It's not a good argument. Another argument that doesn't support his thesis. Okay, let's go back in here and let's try to wrap him up, and then we're going to read our 2 verses and we're going to be done.
Look at the banks of the Red Sea. You can just Google Red Sea coastline. You will not see any reed.
Dry.
So when Moses was in a papyrus reed basket, I mean, even in Africa today, they can weave a basket made out of papyrus reeds. We have to understand that the Israelites, they crossed the Nile River. And when you look at the land that they went into, from beyond the rivers of Cush, beyond the rivers of the Nile River, is where the Israelites were scattered and dispersed. This is in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 10. When the Bible mentions fat pasture, that is the grasslands. When the Bible mentions the mountains of Israel and the cattle and the livestock eating off the mountains of Israel, when you go to Israel, you look at their mountains, you're not going to see cows, sheep, and goats eating and grazing on what we would call fat grassland pasture. If you go to the Congo,
I don't know if I can agree with that because I've been to Israel and I did see cattle in hills. So I can't concur with this statement that he's making. I don't know what his supportive information on that is, but let's go ahead.
And you go into the mountains of the Congo, you're going to see cows, you're going to see mountain farms. You can see mountains that have grass all over it.
East Africa, your Kenyas, Tanzanias.
Yeah, exactly. These cows are in a buffet.
So it could be that, you know, we brought the culture with us. That may be why you see more of that in the interior of Africa, because we brought the culture with us, right? It's evident if the people scatter out of the land quite naturally. Remember when Abraham left, right? Very key to this dynamic that I'm presenting. Abraham left from Ur the Chaldees with his family. He took his cattle and everything with him. He took his cattle. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Abraham took his cattle. Let's see. Abraham, when he left from this. Okay, here we go. This is chapter 13. Okay, let's do this real quick. It says, Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, with all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. He went on his journey from Sukkot, from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at first, and there Abram called on the name of Yah. Lot also went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt there in the land. Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. You will depart right, then I will go to the left. Right. So we see that Abram and Lot both had cattle, livestock that they took with them. Now, what I was trying to pull out was when he left from Ur the Chaldees. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see. I'm trying to look for. Let me see something here. Okay. All right. Just scratch that. I was looking for something specific that I know that I read is in there where Abraham had, was it trained men? Okay. Scratch it. I can't think of it now. All right. So Ron's points so far is not proving his position. It's just all speculation. Let's go back in here and let's try to wrap this thing up.
They're never going to have to leave and go here to graze because there's nothing here to eat. Like a Bedouin, like the Bedouins in Israel, in Jordan, when their little small livestock eats up enough of that area. They gotta move like nomads to another area. The water is scarce because it's the desert, and the grassland is scarce. So when you look at Africa, Africa is full of savannas or plains, and also forests. When we look at the thrones of King Solomon, we look at the horn that the Israelites blew, the elephant horn and the ram's horn. Where do you get ivory to make King Solomon's throne?
Okay. I'm gonna stop there because this is another 20 minutes left of that video, and I don't have time to go through the whole video. What I want to do is, did I mess up? Okay, I'm good. What I want to do is, I want to leave you with this here. Let's see. Let's go and. Let's go to Joel chapter 3. And we'll wrap it up with this and one other place. Okay. A verse I want is verse 3. So let's just read first Joel 3 and 1, 2, and down to 4. Okay. Let's blow this up for mask. Okay. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Interesting that the Brenton version says all Gentiles. Check this out. Watch this here. I will also gather all Gentiles and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will plead with them there for my people, my heritage, Israel, whom they have dispersed among the Gentiles, and these Gentiles have divided my land. That's the Brenton, that's the Septuagint version. Now go back to King James. The nations, he says. That's more in line with the prophecy, Daniel's prophecy, right? I will gather all nations, bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will judge them or plead with them or judge them for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, part of my land. They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah. And what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? So here's a question for Jerusalem is in Africa. Where's Tyre and where is Sidon? And all the coasts of Palestine. So where's Tyre? Where's Sidon? And where is the coast of Palestine? Okay. Now, will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Now, incidentally, the Brenton version says, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all Galilee of the Gentiles? Oh, that's good. So, question we got to ask is, where's Galilee? And where are the Gentiles? Because every Hebrew Israelite that teaches the Gentiles or the sons of Japheth, where are the sons of Japheth at in Africa other than South Africa? Now, the South Africans could say sons of Japheth are dwelling in the tents of Shem in South Africa, but the proponents of Jerusalem being in Ethiopia can't say that because where the sons of Japheth in Ethiopia? Okay. So they got to iron that one out. All right. So Joel 3 said that he called it the Galilee of the Gentiles. Do you render me recompense? Which, when we think about that, I like the Septuagint version explanation, because when you think about Galilee of the Gentiles, that's who you see down there today. You see the Gentile. Luke 21:24 said, Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles, right? Where's Galilee at? In Jerusalem. Where are the Gentiles at? In Galilee. Right? You go to the Sea of Galilee, you see what we talking about. You see the Gentile all around there, right? So if the Gentile is the Gentile, Galilee of the Gentiles, right? Yahshua said in Matthew's, right? He said, go not into the way of the Gentiles, right? When we go to what is that? Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, let me see. Hold on a second. Let's go back to the regular KJV. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's slide this over here real quick. Okay, let's look at this right here. This is Jeremiah 4:7 says, declare you in Yehuda and publish in Jerusalem and say, blow the trumpet in the land, cry together against and say, assemble yourselves and let us go into the defense cities. Set up a standard towards Zion, retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north and great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. Right? Interesting, right? The destroyer of the Gentile, and the land shall be waste without an inhabitant. That's something that we had to look into and see that. Okay, now I want to show you something. I'm going to show you this first, then I'm going to show you the verse that confirms Matthew 4:15 says what? Let's start at verse 12. Now, when Yahshua had heard that Yochanan was cast to prison, he departed into Galilee. Oh, into Galilee. Okay, all right. And leaving Nazareth, right, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast. Oh, the sea coast, huh? So we got all these lands where Jerusalem is located upon the sea coast, right? Right? Which is upon the sea coast in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Yoshiyahu the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, the Galilee of the Gentiles. Underline that, right? So the land of Zebulun and Naphtali is by the sea, beyond Jordan. So now you got another body of water you have to figure out. Where's the river Jordan at, right? And which sea are we talking about? Are we talking about the Red Sea? Are we talking about the Nile River? Which sea are we talking about? Because the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali is by way of the sea, beyond the Jordan. Okay? And it says Galilee of the Gentiles. Okay, we're gonna amplify this, and we're gonna explain what he's talking about. You know, I didn't have the verse shown on the screen, so pardon me for my ignorance there. Okay, so once again, Yahshua heard that Yachanan was cast in prison. He departed into Galilee. So Yahshua departed into Galilee, and leaving Nazareth, right? Leaving Nazareth, right? He came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, right? So Nazareth, right, is north, right? Now, I'm going to show you something real quick. Okay. I've been to Nazareth, so I can attest to what I seen, and I did see a bunch of Gentiles up in there. I was like, wow, look at these Gentiles all up here in Nazareth, right? Okay, let's just go back over here, and let's go to maps. Okay, let's bring this back on the screen. All right, let's close this down. Now you can see, look, here's Nazareth right here, right? Here's Nazareth right here. Right? Right here. I've been there. I went there. I went to Nazareth because I went up here to the Sea of Galilee, right? And I went to the Sea of Galilee, and then the Dead Sea is down here somewhere. Where's the Dead Sea? Down here. Okay. I went down there too, went to the Dead Sea. But I went up here to Galilee, and let's see, the River Jordan is somewhere up in this vicinity. I was looking for the River Jordan. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me just stick with this here first, and I'll pull the River Jordan out. I wanted to show you. So this is Tiberias, right, where the Sea of Galilee is. There's a river somewhere around here where Yahshua was baptized, right? So now, following the story, it said the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali by the way of the sea. So here's the sea, right? So somewhere around here, if I had my biblical map, we would see that this is the land of Zebulun and Naphtali by way of the sea beyond Jordan, the Galilee of the Gentiles. Okay. So here's Nazareth right here, right? Coming from Jerusalem. Okay, Jerusalem's here. I'm not sure which road I took out of Jerusalem, but I drove. It may have been this one here. Or I think it was this one. I don't know which one of these highways I took. It might have been 6. Took it up and then across. That was the one I took. I think I took 6 and then crossed 65 over here to Tiberias to get to River Jordan. Okay. All right. So this is what he's talking about, the Sea of the Gentiles, Galilee of the Gentiles. Now, that's why this makes sense, because when Yahshua said, the next verse, 10, let's see. Matthew's 10 and 5, right? Okay. 10 and 5. He says, these 12 Yahshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Right? So Samaria, he said, don't go in the way of the Gentiles or any city in Samaria. Okay. So will we see where's Samaria at? Hold on a second. Let's do River Jordan first. I promise River Jordan. Okay. Now this picture is actually accurate. The water is actually this color. Okay, where'd that picture go? Here it is. The water is actually that color. It actually looked like that. And they got a bunch of catfish in there. I did an immersion in the River Jordan, and there was big old catfish, probably like about 3 feet long, was was swimming around my feet while I was in there. Catfish was in the water. Maybe I'll pull that clip out one day and play it. Um, Here's some people right here in the River Jordan. It almost looked like me. Yep, that's the River Jordan. Okay, now let's go back to the map. Okay. Okay, somewhere along the line, I got falling off. Okay. I wanted to see an interactive map. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, okay. Here's the Sea of Galilee. This river here is the River Jordan right here, right? It's down by the Sea of Galilee, right? It's a little river. I wanted to show you on the Google map. Hmm. Okay, let's exit this out. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. This is the River Jordan here. So they're showing you the streak, right? So here's the Sea of Galilee right here, right? Okay. So the River Jordan spills right into the Sea of Galilee. So here's the River Jordan right here. Somewhere around here is where people get immersed. So anybody go to Israel, they go here to get immersed if they want to be baptized where Yahshua was baptized. So this is Sea of Galilee. And then if you go up to Samaria, I think it's called Shemelon now. Let's see, where is it? Way up north somewhere up here. Hold on. I don't know if this is it right here. Let's see. They changed the name. I think it's called Shimmeron. Let me see. Hold on a second. Hmm. Hmm. And change the name of it. Why can't I find it? Syria. Okay. I'll find it. Let me see. Let's see. Samaria is the Hellenized form of Hebrew name Shomron, used as a historical biblical name for a region, central region of Israel, bordered by Judea and south, by Judea to the south and Galilee to the north. The region is known to the Palestinians in Arabic under two names, Samara. Okay. So let's see. Here's a map here. Let's see what this. Okay. So it's the north part right here. This is not giving me what I'm looking for. I want a Google Maps. So let's see if I can figure this thing out. It's different when you've been there, and it's different when you've been there. Look at the mountains here, right? I seen those mountains when I was there. I was like, man, Jerusalem got mountains in Israel like that? Look at this here. That's where I was. That would be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's in Jordan Valley. I got a picture. As a matter of fact, the picture that I took every now and then, I think I have it on my Facebook page. I actually took a picture of me blowing the shofar right over this, looking over this Jordan Valley. But anyway, let me get back here so we can wrap this up. Okay, so that's the way of the Gentile. Let's go back up here, blow this up. Okay, so he said, don't go into any city in Samaria. Okay, now. What I want to show is how did they get this land? How did the Gentiles get this land, right? Okay. And we have King Shlomo to thank for that. Okay. So we're going to show you how they got the land. So let's go to 1 Kings chapter 9. 1 Kings chapter 9 and 11. So 1 Kings chapter 9 and 11. Okay, first, where we at? 1 Kings chapter 9 and 11. Where's 11 at? Okay, let's start at 10. It came to pass at the end of 20 years when Shlomo had built the two houses, the house of Yah and the king's house. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, right, had furnished Shlomo with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold according to all his desire. I wonder where he got it, where he got that gold from. That then King Shlomo gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. See that? King Shlomo gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. And Hiram came out from Tyre to see his cities which Shlomo had given him, and they pleased him not. And he said, what cities are these which thou hast given me, my brother? He called them the land of Kabul unto this day. And Hiram sent to the king 60 talents of gold, and this is the reason of the levy which King Shlomo raised up to build the house of Yah and his own house, and Milo, and the wall of Jerusalem, and Hazar, and Megiddo, and Gezer. Okay. All right. So Shlomo gave in the territory of Galilee 25, where is it? 25, 20 cities in the land of Galilee to Tyre. Historically wise, to King of Tyre, Hiram. Historically wise, I believe I read somewhere, don't quote me on it, that Hiram was a Greek Phoenician. Okay. He was Greek on his father's side and Phoenician or Hamite on his mother's side. Kind of like Hannibal was. Okay. The Greeks and the Hamites were doing a lot of marrying during those days, intermixing and merging. Okay, I read that in one book. I can't remember which book it was. I do so much reading, right? Now, I want to share with you one more place, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Um, let's see. Okay, this is Ezekiel 27, all right? And this is read verse 1 through 3. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, uh-oh. Now thou son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus. I say to Tyrus, O thou that are situated at the entry of the sea, which art a merchant of the people from many isles. Thus says Yah, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am perfect beauty, right? So Tyre land is at the entry of the sea. So for Tyre, combination of Phoenicians and Greeks, the sea peoples, because that's who they were. Their border was, it says, thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty. So this land of Tyre, right? The borders are in the middle of the seas. So if the borders of Tyre is in the middle of the seas, right? And we go back to the map. I forget one of these maps. You can look at this one here, where we show you Tyre is an island. Their borders is in the middle of the sea. And the coast of Palestine would be all of this here. So all of this territory is the coast of the Palestinians or the Philistines, right? They were the people that dwelt along the coast. So for Africa, Jerusalem to be in Africa, we had to find where's Tyre at. Because Tyre's supposed to be in the middle of the sea somewhere. So we would have to make Tyre to be somewhere way down here. Because the only island you're going to get is when you get way south, Madagascar. Is this Tyre? There's a lot of questions that have to be answered. This is the Indian Ocean. So where's Tyre, right? Is there an island in Africa somewhere? Let me see. Saint Thomas over here. That's the only other island. Saint Thomas and Principe. These are the only other islands that's in the sea. So which one of these is Tyre? Is it Saint Thomas? Is it Saint Antonio? Let's flip a coin. Is it Madagascar, which is way over here? Where is he at? Way over here. Right? Zoom it out. Oh, I forgot. New Guinea. Where's New Guinea at? Hold on a second. I gotta find it. Okay. Oh, New Guinea, way over there. Oh, it can't be New Guinea. It can't be. It's not Philistines, Indonesia, Malaysia. It can't be none of them. So it's got to be this one, the only option. Or this one. Or Rhodes. Okay. I'm messing up now. Okay. Brother and sister, I'm done for the day. Pray if you got something out of it. I just want to share with you some technical stuff. Sorry if I bored you without getting all, riled up and how we can get. This wasn't one of them kind of lessons where you leave out and say, man, brother, he broke it down. It's more of a technical class. So only the technical people can appreciate what we just shared. But no, we can't put Israel, Jerusalem, and Africa on the basis of the information that has been shared to us so far from the best teachers. And I thought I'd pull Ron out today and show what Ron had to say. He's philosophizing on that Israel is in Africa on the basis of his philosophy, which didn't hold any water. Okay? So with that said, brothers, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Father, thank and praise you for those that join us on this live stream, those that will come later on. We pray that the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension keep the hearts and minds through Yahshua the Messiah until we meet at the point in time. We give you praise, we honor him, Yahshua Mashiach. Hallelujah. 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 Todah Yah. Amen. Brothers and sisters, keep us in your prayer. Me and my Isha, we moving furniture. We're not as young as we used to be. We got most of the big stuff out, so we got some smaller things to get out before we go to closing on the house on Wednesday. So just keep us in your prayers that we continue to be rested and strengthened, and we'll see you all again prayerfully. We'll be streaming live next Shabbat. If we don't have our internet situation situated, we'll probably at some point maybe do a lesson and record it and then upload it and then stream it as a premiere or figure out how to stream it live. Okay. So that said, we love you to love Yah. Pray that you all have a blessed Shabbat. And until the next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.
to know.